Annoying. Let's go.
So where were you on the night in question?
They're holding it up. I'll get that fixed momentarily. That said, good practice this morning. Good practice from a football team that I think we can say is going to be good. Question marks as to just how good, but going to be really good, I think. And it's impressive when you go out there and watch these guys play. I don't know if you want to say the story, but to me, it's a lot of the new guys and then also the improvement of some of the veterans. But to me, like obviously watching Keon Coleman and you watch Destin Hill and you watch Braden Fisk, you watch these guys that weren't here a year ago, and you realize that they didn't just make this team better. They're going to play a significant role in their success. These are all guys that I think are going to play a lot, obviously. I even think that you can say that about Destin Hill. I mean, for him, it's going to be about how much of the playbook he knows. But the ability is there. The speed is there. The fluidity of his route running, he is seamless, man.
There was something on Saturday that was right. Saturday was the first day in shoulder pads, and Destin got out of his break on a route. And it was just something to behold. I don't know that it was on the level of the consistency that we saw out of Andrevius Jacobs in spring camp, which was every day. You saw something like that, and it almost take your breath away. And you say, how should you still be in high school? Look at this. But Destin broke off a route, which tells me he's not thinking. There's polish on it. He knows where he needs to be in such an explosive way that okay, you're going to have a chance because you're only going to get better. This is the worst you'll ever be at Florida State. You're coming off of a 2-year layoff, and I'm sure you're playing 7-on-7 to stay sharp. I'm sure you're working out. I mean, clearly he has been still, in touch with his fitness. But this is the worst Destin Hill is going to be here on campus. And look how polished he is for that lag. Can't wait to see what he's like at the end of camp.
It's every day that we're out there, you kind of get more excited. I was just telling Eddie we were cutting a new Gordo's commercial on the way. There you go. We were cutting a new Gordo's commercial, and he was asking me about the team. We were just talking a little bit about where they're at. And I said, hey, this is a likable bunch, but I said, here's the thing. I mean, they're a likable bunch that's going to win a lot of games. They're talented. They're really talented, but they are likable because and you don't always need that. There have been good teams that weren't all that likable. There have been bad teams that were likable, but they didn't win games. But this is a group that's got both, man. There's a real togetherness to them, but there's also a bunch of guys that are fighting for spots. They're tenacious. The competition every day is intense. It's a good thing.
There are more pieces to work with. And I think the defense in my head, when I say that, we know what the offense is. We know what it can be. And Keon Coleman fits in seamlessly. Like there's no, he's going to need to get integrated a little bit more. And that's already done. It's done. He's fine.
He's also good.
Right. On defense, I don't think this is giving state secrets away or violating the practice code. But they've already talked about Braden Fisk and his versatility on the defensive line. Dennis Briggs has played different positions. So when you combine body types like that with the Fabos and also Josh Farmer, who's gotten a lot larger in the offseason.
He had a good day today.
And there's Jared and there's Peyton, and Gilbert Edmond was a standout today.
Best day he's ever had, really, here as a Nole,
Without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Every phase of what they did, Gilbert Edmond stood out, all the way up to a strip sack he had in 11-on-11.
I just think it's important to say that, too, because we left spring not saying that at all.
Correct.
We left spring kind of...
Yeah, and on Saturday, we weren't able to watch one-on-ones. They went inside, which kind of sucked. So now today we got to. But what Gilbert, you get to see those up close, which is why that's important.
Oh, yeah.
Gilbert is still quite quick for adding on 12 pounds of muscle in the offseason.
He needed to add 12 pounds, though.
But he retained the quickness with it, which I saw today. Braden Fisk today took it over with more speed than power. Showed a bunch of power on Saturday, a little bit more speed today. They're going to be a problem up front, and Adam Fuller's been very good at designing ways to put guys in weird spots. Remember, all the way back to Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, he moves them inside, moves them outside, puts them on the same side. Yeah.
So you've got these kinds of weapons. They're going to have a chance to generate more turnovers this year because the secondary is now looking for the football more. It's just, I feel like turnovers are coming for this team this year.
So the story of camp for me, which I just said with a lot of the new guys, there was a lot of reasons to be excited about how they're going to contribute and the things they're going to do, Tom. But the other story is the secondary, is the fact that they have played very aggressively. They've played some zone. They've played man. They've been ball hawks. They've gotten to where they play with a level of intensity and enthusiasm that's even different from a year ago. It's all there. Now, some of that's confidence. Some of that is the new coach. Some of that is the skill. But they are a different looking unit right now. And that segment group has come a long way in a short period of time. And I can't imagine that's going to wane. Now, look, again, we've only seen 4 practices. It's not, you only have so much data. They're not in full pads, but they are in shells now. So uppers, as they call them. So they're all there hitting now. And, I don't know that things are going to change all that much once they put, thigh pads on. I think it's pretty much going to be what it is. And what it is right now is a bunch of guys competing and a bunch of guys understanding that if you're going to make this roster, what I should say is you're going to make it onto the field for this team, then you're going to have to work, because right now there are 2 spots seemingly for every position. The only place that's not true is linebacker. But everywhere else you feel pretty good about the starter and the backup. That's almost across the board.
Yeah, there's a lot of balance to it too. So as you're watching practice, I think the defense had the better of a lot today when I was watching line stuff.
Yeah.
Now 11 on 11, you could argue different
the
things.
long Johnny Wilson touchdown throw, and
But if you're just talking about trenches, I think the defense had the better of the action today. But it's the better of the action. This goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Dimitri Emmanuel can be on the wrong side of some of the worst reps you've ever seen. And then he could go against Braden Fisk, who's on a run of maybe 3 or 4 reps where nobody can stop him, and Big Meech just locks him up, and there's nowhere to go. Like, it's that kind of stuff that goes back and forth. Bless Harris does that. Jeremiah Byers today did that. Lost a rep where you'd say, really? To that guy? You lost a rep? Bounces back, goes against a Patrick Payton or a Jared Verse and holds his own. And you're like, okay, well, it's fine. That's where it gets fun, but also hard to gauge when you're going against yourself about who's really winning and what it's going to look like relative to other opponents. I just think from watching this team, I'm guessing you would agree, every camp that Norvell's been here post-pandemic, the team's just gotten better. They've just gotten better, more consistent, more deep, whatever you want to call it.
Well, this is fun. Now they'll practice today, tomorrow. They already practiced today, tomorrow, and Wednesday here. Then they head over to Jacksonville for Thursday, Friday practices. They do their camp over there, which is odd to me, but whatever. They do it every year. And then they'll be back over here next week. And, I think we're at a place now where when you see the pieces and you see the athleticism and you see the enthusiasm and you see all of the things that you like, not just competition, but togetherness, everything that you want in a team, now you just can't wait for them to play. Now you're just like, okay, I like it. How big is that game going to be against LSU? My goodness. If you win that football game, first of all, you'll vault yourself into the top 5. I'll get to the coaches poll in a second. Hey, now, have the soundbite ready to roll. But you'll vault yourself into the top 5, and you'll have a get-out-of-jail-free card for the road Clemson game, although I'd like you to win that game too. But you'll have that. And then from there, I just don't really see a lot of teams in the ACC that are going to provide too much competition for this football team. Clemson's one. We'll see what Miami is this year, if they take a big step forward or not. Obviously, changing your offensive coordinator, having a healthy Tyler Van Dyke, perhaps a better coaching staff than they had a year ago. Maybe they take a big step forward. It's a rivalry game. Who knows? We're still waiting to see what Florida is this year. I know in terms of Florida, I know I don't like their quarterback situation. So it's hard to it's just hard to find losses on this schedule for this team.
There's a funny story I'd like to share from Saturday's practice that there's no way you could throw it in an observations piece, but for radio, it's perfect. So in 11 on 11, back half of practice, they're in the indoor practice facility. There was a lightning warning towards the end, so they come inside. And there's a throw. It's a deep corner. I want to say it's to Burrell, but it's a lot of the other guys. So it's a deep corner, good throw. Quindarius Jones takes a perfect angle, undercuts it, bats it away. It happens to be where I am on the sidelines. Sometimes a play just comes your way. Mike Norvell sprints over. He is so happy to celebrate with Quindarius. 5-finger echoing slap on the derriere of Quindarius Jones. I promise you that the handprint of Mike Norvell is still there. It was a little sweet. Ooh.
Yeah.
And when it echoed off of all the walls, I felt so bad for Quindarius. Mike was so fired up about it, though.
My wife gets furious at me. I do that once a month. She does. I'm an ass-slapping husband. I'll do it. She'll walk by, and
sometimes you gear up to, you size up the distance to pat somebody on the butt. Norvell went with a haymaker, and it landed clean. I mean, like an uppercut from Mike Tyson back in the day. He was, Quintarius! Bam!
I'm going to record me slapping my wife's ass so you can hear the same response that she gives every time.
I don't think she'd want that.
This angered GD Jeff moment. It's the same response every time. And then I chuckle and walk out the door because I'm usually doing it on my way out. I'm like, hey, babe, pants. I liked it. Yeah. I told you my famous ass slapping story where I thought it was a friend of mine.
Still going.
Thought it was a friend of mine. This was down in Gainesville. I told you my buddy went to UF, and I went down there to see him. And I thought he was this tall, skinny guy, long hair, same thing. I got a running start. Wham! It's total stranger.
Oh, that's right.
Total stranger. I slapped some poor skinny hippie as hard as you can slap.
Forgot about that.
And they asked in Gainesville.
What the hell, man?
He turned around and looked at me startled, and I was like, oh, you're not Trey? Yeah, I felt terrible. I was like, oh, sorry, buddy. And he's 130 pounds soaking wet. You just kind of like.
You were known to do that to any member of the beat who was around you for Miami Saturday on the roof. You would do that.
It's the old playing days, man. It's the old playing days.
I don't know what was worse, though, that or the karate chop to the trap. That's what.
For the Miami weekend?
Well, no, in general, when I assisted Millar, and I was in Millar's office as you guys were doing the show from 3 to 6, you come in the break and went, what's up, Tommy boy? And then just like right on the trap.
I'm a hugger and a handsy guy. Hey. Oh, buddy. Good times. Any segment groups you're overly excited or condemned with?
Or condemning, I guess.
Let's see. Any segment group that I'm overly excited about? Where I need to temper my enthusiasm? Probably probably the defensive line. I think so. I really encourage, you brought up Briggs. I think it's important to bring him up again. I don't think he's been right since those sons of bitches at Louisville cheap shotted him 2 years ago. He was still not right. Last year, I didn't think he was the same guy. His trajectory was one of being a very versatile, disruptive player. And he just hasn't become that. But he was on that track. And I think he looks a little bit more like he's the guy that I remember seeing where I got excited about his future. I think he's starting to look like that. Braden Fisk, who they brought in, I didn't know what he was going to be, but he's incredibly versatile. They can move him around the defensive line. He's so quick. And also, he's capable in a bull rush. He's a strong guy. He's really, really good. Farmer is gigantic, strong, consistent.
Dudes.
Hip-tossing people. We know what Fabo is. We'll see if Daryl Jackson gets his waiver or not. It'd be nice because if he does, he just adds to a list of guys that can really play. You just mentioned Gilbert Edmond looks like a different player. If he's going to play like he did today, that's different.
Yeah. That's signs of real life today.
Well, then now you've got 3 to 4 guys off the edge that you feel very good about. Verse is going to have a career year. He's going to go get himself paid a lot of money. I mean, Jared Verse is unblockable. Every day at practice, he's unblockable. He's just a dominant player. And he's put on weight. So he's already strong, and now he's 260 strong, and he's so quick. It's ugly. Patrick Payton continues to develop. I mean, that defensive line, I think, has a chance to wreak havoc. Now, what I like is that within your question, I felt, stymied. I wanted to say 3 or 4 others, but you asked for one, so I gave you one. That's a good sign when I'm like, well, they're good. That's a really good sign.
Yeah, the thing I'd say, Daryl Jackson and the run, the opposition running the ball at us, because if he's a part of the rotation, that just solves so many problems. Today in the run game drills, Daryl by himself collapsed the offensive line twice.
Yeah.
Back-to-back plays.
He's a monster. He's a
God.
monster. I cross my fingers every day with this situation. I don't, I've said on the air, I don't feel good about it. I went from, oh, it's going to be all right, to I don't feel good about this situation at all. I think they're in trouble in terms of getting the information that they want or the answer that they want. I don't think it's going well. And, I don't know. We've got a long time between right now, here today, and kickoff against LSU. And he is able to practice, and he is practicing, and he is dominating when he practices. But at some point, if they find out it's not going to be a go, like, you're going to have to seriously limit his reps. What's the point? You got to get other guys reps. So, and I won't, guys, there'll probably not be a lot I can say about some of this stuff. I mean, Mike wouldn't like some of the conversation centered around this situation if we begin to notice changes. So I don't know how much I'll be able to say. I don't know when FSU will make an announcement one way or the other.
We're within a week of the edict from Adam Fuller, which is he's going to practice him as much as he normally would practice him until Mike Norvell says otherwise.
That's correct.
And we're still there.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sure. Absolutely. So, he's a dominant player when he plays. And you're right. I mean, that is they're going to have a pass rush.
Oh, from all angles.
Yeah, they're going to have a pass rush.
They really
can.
Briggs and Fisk are too quick for you in the interior.
Mm-hmm.
And Briggs split a double team today in the run game drills. We're just like, oh my God. So he can knife through you. So can Fisk. But then Fisk also has the strength on top of it. That guy's a comprehensive issue. Because he has, you won't go into the specifics of the moves, but he has particular moves where you think that he's bottled up and then he's not, and it happens in an instant. It's almost like he's playing possum. And then there's the speed that goes with it. He's, wow. It's been wow.
I'm going to be curious to see. Last year, when teams decided to run the ball on us, they did. They were able to run the ball. And if you had a pulse, if you were decent on the offensive line, you really ran the ball. And so it's an awful lot to say that they're going to go from being pretty damn bad against the run to dominant. And I don't know that they're that. We've got a long way to go before we, can really determine that. It's not there yet. I mean, I wish we could see scrimmages where it's a real this is go time. We're going to make a concerted effort to run the ball with our starting offensive line against our starting defensive line. Like, I'd like to see that, but we're not going to get to see that. We'll look at the numbers and we'll listen to what Mike has to say. But, until we get to that point, it's hard to know that.
I think that's part of it. And this is why football is amazing, because you bring that up and it could lead to three or four other conversations about players. One of which to me is Kevin Knowles, who has been outstanding.
Different player this year. Different player so far this year. He's bigger and he's playing with great confidence. He's a teacher. He's out there helping the other guys.
They've gone on record, the coaches have, saying that safety is now in play for Kevin Knowles. And certainly we've seen that. But to your point in scrimmages, I'd love to see against the run, how does he react? How does he read the field from back there? He's larger, so he can come up and make a sturdy stop on a running back. But is he seeing the angles properly? It's different from back there than it is at slot corner or outside corner. I'd love to know if that's a good answer, because if it is, then Kevin Knowles it's going to be hard to keep that kid off the field. I mean, he has been very, very good so far.
Well, he's going to play a lot. Yeah, I agree with you. Caleb wants to know, how's Omar Graham looking? Until we get these guys in full pads and they're coming up and having to tackle, it's kind of tough to tell.
The trenches are okay with shells because it's about what the offensive lineman can do to engage and lock you up. But you're right. Full pads tell the story once you get deeper in the layers about contact and who's where and who's got the strength to bring you down versus just get there to thump. Yeah.
Good problems to have, man. Right now, there has not been a lot that's negative. There really hasn't. I would be quick to tell you if there was. You hear us praising the defensive line, Ed, and it's not at the expense of the offensive line. We're not saying that the offensive line is bad because the defensive line had a good day today. The defensive line had a really good day today. But this is a good offensive line, but they mix and match with these guys all the time, so you really haven't seen their starting five yet out there together.
Yeah, every offensive lineman, I'd say every single one that you could guess and say could make the two deep or be in that top 8, because Alex Atkins wants the top 8 to be settled before they play LSU. Every single one of those players has had really good moments where you say, oh, man, guess he could be the starter. Or, oh, maybe this guy could be the starter. But it's just tougher because you don't have the 5 that you like yet. They've also gone on record. This is something that's not given away any secrets. Mike Norvell said that Robert Scott at left tackle is ahead of schedule, that they had him for the offseason, ahead of schedule to get integrated, but Robert's played a lot of football. And he said that. So what do you think that means? Maybe they're trying some other guys out to see and mixing and matching to see what works.
Well, I'm going to be very, very interested to see what happens with Robert Scott. I could see a scenario at this point where the tackles are Byers and Harris. And Scott could be a guard. We'll see. I don't know. He may be second string. I don't know. He could win the starting job back.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but I can certainly make an argument for Byers and Harris as tackles.
I think, and this would have been the case last year too. Bless is your most, he's like a switch hitting tackle. He's comfortable on either side of the plate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that's the case for everybody that's a tackle right now on the roster.
Right.
But Bless is basically your emergency backup as your on either side, I think, in addition to probably a starter.
Probably a starter on one of those sides,
yeah. There are some guys, Tristan Wirfs for the Bucks has lamented moving from right tackle to left this offseason. Says he doesn't like it.
Get it together, man. He's seen a therapist over it.
He's one of the best right tackles in the game.
But I'm just saying, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm not here crying about it.
I don't think it's the easiest thing in the world, though. Bless makes it look easy, moving back and forth. So, yeah, he's got a real shot to be a starter, I think.
All right, so obviously some things happened over the weekend, including a huge get for Mike Norvell, and it is a resounding, commitment in that the way that it shook things up in the recruiting world and what it signifies. Now, I'll get back to some of these questions about the team that you guys are asking. By the way, I mean, it's a long first segment, but it's a fun first segment. Let me just say this. The kickers have been great. Both kickers have been great. They have. I mean, they'll miss a kick every now and again. Nobody's going to have a perfect week. I mean, people miss a kick here and there. But they have both been really, really good. This has been a good start to camp for these two kickers.
Your voice is not trembling, sir.
They both looked really good. We made a joke today because they both made everything, and thunderously so, that we said Mike should ask the opposing coach which one of the two kickers they'd like to come in and make this next kick. Like, hey, who do you want? I got two. They're both going to make it. Right now, you can say that. Right now, you can feel good. It's a fun competition. That's what you want. I'm not declaring anybody a winner yet. You can't. But in terms of just kicking field goals, guys, kicking field goals. I'm not talking about punt returns. I'm not talking about kick returns. I'm just talking kicking field goals. These two guys look good right now. That's different and exciting.
And you jinxed them. That's
no,
great. That's
no
great.
such
the whammies
thing.
Out there.
No such thing.
Tomorrow we're gonna watch and you're whammy.
No whammies.
And
no
stop.
Whammies. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Does your knee pain keep getting worse? How about that pain in your shoulder, your hip, or your back? Don't let them tell you that steroids and surgery are your only option. Take my advice and call QC Kinetics. Hey, everybody, it's Greg Tish. QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all natural, advanced, regenerative medicine. They're helping people here every day with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue. It's like turning back the clock. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body to stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they can work like they're supposed to. And there's zero downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting medical breakthrough. Patients here are getting long-lasting relief, and they're saying no to surgery and drugs. If you have pain due to injury or arthritis, this is a remarkable option that you need to check out. And the consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics now. 850-391-4280. 850-391-4280. That's 850-391-4280.
Hello, Leon County. Let's get ready to win with Ken. I'm Ken Preston. I want to be your next Leon County property appraiser. I'm driven, committed, experienced, and a dedicated community servant. I'm ready to put my experience as a former property appraiser to work to help make a difference for the people of Leon County. Let's go to work. Vote for me. Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser 2024. Win with Ken. Hey, political advertisement by Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser.
Want a Zaxby's Big Zack snack meal for free? With free fingers, free fries, free Zack sauce, even free Texas toast? All you have to do is download the Zaxby's app. Did you download it yet? Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
If you've been considering getting a new hot tub or upgrading your existing hot tub, now's the absolute best time to do it. Hot Spring Spas has the jets on full blast, and the prices right now have never been hotter. You can find huge savings at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, and we mean huge. For a limited time, you can get up to $5,000 off in instant discounts and rebates, plus 60 months no interest financing for qualified buyers. You heard that right, $5,000 in discounts. And that's not all. When you buy a hot spring spa from Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, you'll get a free consultation to determine the best placement in your yard for installation, a free accessory of your choice, and install can be completed in just a matter of days. It's the most aggressive rebate program that's ever been available to buyers from Hot Spring Spas. So stop by Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road today to check out their 12,000 square foot showroom with over 50 hot tubs on site. If you're ready to relax, Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. I routinely speak to seniors who are overwhelmed by the multitude of coverage options available to them. That's why I created the Medicare Help Desk radio show. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where I provide clear answers to all your questions about Medicare.
Attention radio listeners, this is a Foodies Takeout and Delivery new restaurant alert. Now available for takeout and delivery from foodiestakeout.com. The Hawthorne Bistro, Jerry's Love on a Plate, Coach's Pizza, Munchie's Pizza, Red Eye Coffee, Lofty Pursuits, OG Subs, Dave's Pizza Garage, Sakura Sushi, and many more. Find a complete list of locally owned restaurants offering takeout and delivery at foodiestakeout.com. That's foodiestakeout.com. Don't just shop local, order local.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
The coaches poll.
Every year we're children when we do this.
The coaches poll.
Freaking Beavis and Butthead. The coaches poll is out.
The coaches poll.
And we shall take a gander. Number 1.
The coaches poll.
Georgia. No surprise. Number 2. Michigan.
The coaches poll.
Kind of a surprise. Number 3. Alabama.
The coaches poll.
Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, LSU.
The coaches poll.
How about that? Southern Cal sits at 6, Penn State at 7, and Florida State ahead of Clemson at 8.
The coaches poll.
Clemson comes in at 9, and number 10 is Tennessee, rounding it out. Rapid fire one time. Here is the rest. Washington, Texas, Notre Dame, Houston, or that's Utah, sorry. Utah, who changed their logo. That's stupid. Oregon, TCU, Kansas State, Oregon State, who's conferenceless.
The coaches poll.
OU, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Ole Miss, Tulane, Texas Tech, and number 25, Texas A&M.
The coaches poll.
So you, according to the coaches poll, have number 5 versus number 8 in the first game of the season, with LSU coming in as a slight favorite. But there's your coaches poll. There it is. Oh, man. We had a question before we went to break, and it was about punt return, and I think they've got in their back pocket Keon Coleman. When you watch him, he's comfortable. Khalil, he's very comfortable. He seems, at the very least, like that's a guy that can go catch the ball and judges it well in the air and takes the right angle and is commanding to the others around him as he goes and makes a play. Now, they're working other people in that position. There's a guy in particular, Tom, that I would probably stop working at that position. He has not looked comfortable and has struggled.
That's correct. However, there are weeks of camp to go.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste all of them trying to get him to be able to return punts. Let's see if after the end of this week it's not working. Let's move it along here. Let's let those who are get all of the reps. But I think you're good there. Khalil, thanks for the contribution. Is it not laughable seeing Georgia fans acting like FSU is Wyoming? Have they forgotten the consistent level of mediocrity they displayed for the better part of 30 years post Herschel Walker? Yeah, they have. But winning back-to-back championships will make you filled with pride and bravado and amnesia. Woo! But that said,
it's the better part of 40 years. Too,
yeah,
really.
you can go back further. Yeah, I was going to say. So I just, at this point, I don't really worry about it's funny. We're going to enter a season, guys. We're going to enter a season where Florida State, people are going to feel some kind of way about Florida State, all right? And I don't care anything about those feelings. I don't care. You got three-quarters of the ACC incredulous that Florida State would like to make some money. And apparently are being routinely called by David Hale on a daily basis. And then that becomes the same article. That other people that are in the athletic departments at other schools are upset with Florida State. Who cares? I mean, that is a pushback born out of fear. Nobody's going to say, oh, I get it, I hope they leave. Because they know that's not good. If Florida State leaves the ACC and Clemson goes with them, good night, ACC. And if you do somehow keep it together, you're just an also-ran conference that nobody cares about, making $40 to $50 million less than those that are seeking to leave. So go to hell. But they're going to say it. They're all upset. And that's not going to change because Florida State's not going to stop talking about leaving. Until they make the announcement that they're leaving.
That they leave.
Georgia fans right about now are looking over at Tallahassee going, damn it. They've awakened from their slumber and they're starting to take our players. Yes. And there's more to come. It's a beautiful thing.
My hope is that Florida State and the administration are not like the multiple goodbye guy. The multiple goodbye guy?
Yeah.
We all have that in our family, maybe for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Uncle Ted says
Ted,
goodbye to everybody.
Get in the car.
3 times.
You said goodbye already. Right. Leave.
Yep. Maybe you find him at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Wants to tell you goodbye. Then, you know what? He forgot something. So he's going to go up to the high top, go grab his phone, come back, say goodbye to everybody a second time. Let's not be that as an administration here. Let's not be the multiple goodbye guy. We've now said goodbye.
Yeah, we've made the case, and it is well known.
Now get in the car.
Everything, all that's left is to get with the getting, as I like to say, and we'll see when that happens. Hopefully sooner rather than later. So the KJ Bolden get is reverberating around college football because I think almost more than anybody, that guy kind of represents that Florida State is elevating in status again. That they're moving back into the neighborhood. They've come on back in where we seek to compete for championships. This is another indicator. There were already signs that it was moving in that direction, but now when you start grabbing 5-star kids and you are able to wrestle them away from the likes of Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, You're playing big boy football again. Now we're back to recruiting like Florida State can recruit when Florida State is operating at peak efficiency. And it's funny how you jog the memories of fan bases in these moments where you obtain a player like that, and let's say a linebacker's next, and he comes to Florida State, and they thought he was going to go to Georgia, they'll be pushed back again. But these are the big-time five-star prospects you got to bring in to compete at the highest levels consistently and try to make the college football playoff, and Florida State has every intention of doing so. So you're seeing this marriage of the floor being raised, the overall talent, the success on the field, the activity off the field in regards to Florida State wanting to get out of this conference. Then you're seeing the successes in recruiting that come with success on the field and a renewed commitment to winning. All of these things are happening, and it's a good sign. But it comes with a price, and that price is that Florida State's going to be back to being hated again by an awful lot of people. And that's when you know we're doing great things, everybody. Celebrate that vitriol. Celebrate that hatred. Roll your eyes and laugh, and don't take it personal. It's fear-based. It's always just fear-based. And not everybody that says something dumb, born out of fear, is a bad guy. Like, David Hale's not a bad guy. Andrea Adelson's not a bad woman. These are people writing stories from the perspective of those folks in the triangle, giving them their opinion, and they're documenting that.
I would say, just in reading some of these clippings, that Andrea has been far more fair and has Florida State's side documented more because she's been here. She was here last week talking to everybody involved from the president on down through the athletic department. So I think in the grand scheme, when you see a double byline, if there's something where you say, well, that's fair, probably Andrea in this situation because she's based in Florida, in the state of Florida, and has been to Florida State.
Yeah, lately. Yeah, she has.
For this story.
Yeah. The thing of it is, though, even David at the end of that article was like, Florida State could just write the check and leave. I mean, yes.
It's a breakthrough. I believe we call that a breakthrough moment. Hey, so you're telling me, wait a minute. I didn't see. Let me check that. Let me put my glasses on. Ironclad?
Not ironclad.
I don't see the word ironclad in that graph.
Yeah. Well, I think when you saw the private equity story last week and we talked about it, I mean, we went from why we're mad, why we want out, to here's how. The whys and the hows are out there.
That's basically a military parade. Fire the rocket. Let's go. Fire the damn rocket. I don't need the parade.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Leon County Sheriff's Office confirmed that 2 people were found dead in a home on Dayflower Circle Thursday. Deputies responded to a home on the 5700 block of Dayflower Circle at around 7:45 p.m. Thursday for reports of a deceased person. They found the bodies of a man and a woman believed to be in their 70s and in an advanced stage of decomposition. A preliminary investigation determined family members had not heard from the couple for a while and went to the home to conduct a welfare check. The man and woman were discovered deceased inside the home. The Sheriff's Office said no foul play is suspected. There is no criminal investigation and there is no threat to the public. Florida A&M legend Ken Riley was inducted to the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame on Saturday. The Riler was a 4-year starter at FAMU as a quarterback. He was drafted in 1969 in the 6th round of the draft by the Cincinnati Bengals. He ended his career with 65 total interceptions and 5 touchdowns as a cornerback. Riley passed away in June of 2020, but his family accepted his school jacket for him. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. An excessive heat warning continues until 8 p.m. tonight. An excessive heat watch begins at 11 a.m. tomorrow and continues until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Partly cloudy this afternoon with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. High of 97, winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 78 tonight, chance for scattered thunderstorms. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 94.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. T-SparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
My man Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, bears have their own space.
Well,
you got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, I don't know, longevity time, a mouse.
Just a slow burn.
Slow little burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay. Mouse it is. Gordo's bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV. Good Monday. Kind of curious how quickly we will hear the next part of this story. It's fascinating. There's a lot of rumors out there that something happened before the 15th or the 16th. You've heard that too. Just a buzz that something
will be announced.
Yeah.
Well, 16th is too late. That's why I always put that there. Are we going to get to the 16th?
Yeah.
There's going to be nothing doing. It's not that far away.
Yeah. Well, it would put the kibosh on any discussion for a year. That's for sure.
Yes. And even if at that point, if they talk tough after, whatever. Yeah. Cool.
I don't know what the odds are. I have no idea, Glenn. And Optimus writes, Jeff, if you're confident in the 2 deep, why don't you think this team can win it all? I wouldn't pick them to win it all because I think there are some teams, Georgia, not many teams, but Georgia being one of them, that has a deeper pool of talent on its roster than Florida State does. It's a war of attrition, as they say with football. Guys are going to get hurt. And while I'm confident in many of the backups, they're not as good as the starters, obviously. And I think that when you've had recruiting class after recruiting class and you're stockpiling 5 stars, it's a little bit different than what we've seen from Florida State, which is an uptick in overall talent, a raising of the floor, segment groups that are not singular in terms of players that you can celebrate and be excited to watch play. But they're not where they want to be, which is to again have 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 classes like this.
It's going to be tough to find an offense more dynamic than Florida State.
I agree with that. I have no concerns about the offense.
If you can show, and it's going to be hard to, the LSU game is a clash of the Titans right out the gate in a way that's tough to evaluate what you are or what you aren't, because you've got, by definition now with the coaches poll being released today, 2 top 10 teams going against each other. So it's hard to draw sweeping conclusions. That might be the best opponent you face in 12 games in LSU. But if you can show that you can stop the run consistently up the middle, and Daryl Jackson would go a long way to helping that.
In showing that. Yeah, that's the other part of this.
I feel better about pressure-induced mistakes by the quarterback. I feel better that we're going to be looking for those mistakes in the secondary. I feel better that they're trained to get downhill, capitalize on those plays. Not only make an interception, but maybe return it the other way for a good chunky yardage, get a short field. It just looks like it's starting to work that way a little bit more than it had in previous camps.
Yeah, and I guess when somebody says, why don't you think they can win it all? Can they win it all? Yeah, they could win it all. They could win it all. I don't think they will. I'm not picking them to win it all. But could they win it all? Yeah, they could. I mean, it's about matchups. It's about, how healthy you remain. It's a lot of things. But every year, we at some point end up having the conversation, you and I do. And I got the coach's poll right here, Tom.
The coach's poll.
Of these teams, stop me when I name the first one that you don't think can win the national championship. Not will, but you don't think can. You ready? Here we go. Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, Southern Cal, Penn State.
Southern Cal. Defense. Can't do it. Sorry.
It's hard. I actually think when you get to 6 and 7, I'm like, Penn State, man, get the hell up out of here with this winning the national championship. No. Florida State, Clemson, Tennessee.
I suppose. I would put Tennessee ahead of Clemson.
They throttled them last year. Tennessee did.
And Tennessee, I think that offense is more reliable with the scheme versus I don't know what Clemson is now. I like the hire they made, but there's a lot of moving parts there to be proven out over time. I think Tennessee they kind of have a role in there. They got a philosophy. They stick to it. They're going to be explosive.
It's interesting, though, right? Like, we don't think Utah can win the national championship. We don't think Notre Dame can win the national championship. Maybe Texas can. I mean,
I don't know about Clemson and Tennessee either. Sorry, I thought the exercise for that particular part was done at USC.
No. Yeah, you can stop it at USC.
I know we're below them in the polls, but it doesn't matter.
Lincoln Riley's got to find a way to get a team to play defense that he's in charge of, because the Lord knows they'll play some damn offense. They can score, but they don't stop anybody. They didn't stop people at Oklahoma when he was the head coach, and they don't stop people at Southern Cal, but they do score a ton.
What do they need to be defensively? 40th in the country to have a chance? 30th?
If they're top 50 offense, defense, they got a chance. Mike writes, Jeff, I remember in 2013 how confident you were. Why not be that confident this year? Well, 22 starters went to the NFL. They were unreal. That team was a collection of all-stars. And Jameis Winston, lest we forget, in 2013 was as good a quarterback that's ever played the position. He was incredible. He was brilliant pre-snap. He made great decision after great decision. He could throw the ball anywhere on the field to keep defenses honest. He was remarkable. And they were loaded. They were loaded with superstars everywhere.
That defense was, you had no questions about that defense before the season started. The question was about Jameis. You had Discovery 1, spring game, Discovery 2, Pittsburgh, and then the final one you needed, which was Clemson on the road. It was end of discussion at that point.
But, we went into that season. He's right. I did. I went into that season saying they're really, really freaking good. Really good. Like, the only thing that's going to hold this team back is if for some reason the lights come on and Jameis is a different kid. Because short of that, they're awesome.
There was a moment like that in practice on Saturday, though, in which Jared Verse, and this has happened a bunch in spring, but Jared Verse gets by whoever he needs to get by, causes nearly an instant pressure on Jordan Travis, who had dropped back, kind of was leaning to his right, which is the side that Verse was coming from. He sidesteps once to the left. It's the maybe 100th of a second, the 10th of a second he needs for the space. Delivers a throw awkwardly right on target to a receiver and a comeback, and it's a small window to complete it, where you just see that 4 different players, quarterback, defensive end, receiver, and corner, all did their jobs. Everybody did their jobs perfectly. Ended up being a good play for the offense. That's the kind of stuff where you start to get a little bit misty-eyed, and you say, well, hang on now.
Well, I think that when we saw Keon Coleman the other day, and just you watch him today at practice, he
had a 360 catch on Saturday.
He's a huge difference maker for this team. They're so deep at running back. This offensive line is very good. You're good at tight end. Yes, I have said it over and over and over again that the offense is going to be a problem for every single team they face. I absolutely agree. I'm unwavering in my confidence in this offense. I've told everybody that would listen, they're going to be great on offense. Great. I don't know if they'll be great on defense. They could be good. And they might. If they stop the run, and I agree with you on that assessment. Like if they can stop the run consistently, they've got ball hawks right now that are making aggressive plays on the football every day we go out there.
The windows are tinier
They're
too.
much smaller. They've got a pass rush. They've got a lot of things that would get you excited. Again, I think they're okay at linebacker, not great. And they're not deep there. So that would be a bit of a concern. And if they're not able to stop the run consistently, then that becomes an even bigger problem.
There was a play on Saturday that was fun because you have a few days of the defense winning. Again, they're not in shoulder pads until Saturday for the first time practice 3. But it's enough to where you're saying, all right, the offense can hit a shot play here or there, but, anything else? And then they pop counter on the defense. It's a big play because Mike had him leaning one way. You're like, oh. Okay, never mind. No concerns here. It's just the variety of what the offense can do to you. That's the other thing. We talked about this with Jordan Travis a year ago in spring. They know what he can do. What can we do? What more can we do? And I think that's part of the offense and the defense are doing this camp, which is explore how wide you can make the playbook. How thick can you make the playbook for this upcoming season?
Oh, buddy. I think they got everything they want in that playbook. I mean, they got all the guys that they're going to be fine with that. I think they're good. Let's go check on something here. Let's see if it's worth getting excited about. We'll do so here during a break and come back, and I'll tell you what it was. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Power Mill Training Academy equips motivated athletes focused on baseball and softball with the specific tools to reach their true potential. Now, you'll read that if you go to their website, but I'm here to tell you that, look, whether it's your daughter wanting to play softball, your son wants to play baseball, or maybe they just want to have fun and get the most out of their abilities, and that's where Power Mill comes into play. They've got coaches and camps that teach for every level of play for your son or your daughter. To learn more, go to PowerMillSports.com. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
A cup of Joe, Java, brew, go-go beans, brain water, liquid lightning, wakey juice, whatever you call your cup of coffee, you're missing out if it's not Grassroots Coffee. At grassrootscoffee.com, you'll find an easy way to order the best roasted coffee beans available. It's very simple. Choose the blend you want and how you want it ground, and the bag you receive will have the date your beans were roasted and packaged on it, all written by hand and signed by the roast master himself. You'll know that's as fresh as it gets. You can get Grassroots outside of your house also at some of your favorite restaurants in town. Next time you're out to eat, try asking for Grassroots Coffee by name because there's a good chance they will have it for you. And if you own a business, Grassroots Coffee has options to stock your break rooms with all the productivity powder your team needs. Plus, like some other options that you'll find at work, Grassroots Coffee actually is a part of our community. Get to grassrootscoffee.com today and get yourself a treat. Some locally owned, locally roasted, and locally loved Grassroots Coffee.
This is Dr. Finn from Finn Chiropractic, talking to you guys about a subluxation-free summer. How many times have you told your kids, sit up straight, don't slouch? Well, chiropractic care isn't just for adults. The problems in your spine can start at an early age. So while school is out for the summer, we're offering our phenomenal health exam for just $47. Avoid a subluxation and bring in the kids. Give us a call, 386-7700 or finnchiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take-home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat-screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. The latest latest betting odds and line movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
The Atlanta Braves today on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Braves are 33-19, fewest losses on the road in Major League Baseball. Spencer Strider, 12-3, 3.61 ERA on the mound for the Braves. A $2.75 favorite. It's Osvaldo Bido pitching for the Pirates, plus 235, 8.5 under the total at PNC Park. Jacksonville Jaguars open up the preseason at the Dallas Cowboys on Saturday as 2.5-point road favorites, total 34.5. Atlanta Falcons on Friday, a 2.5-point road favorite at Miami, the total 37. Get your free VSiN subscription right now at VSIN.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Every piece of land has a story. The Upshaw's right there is with a John Deere 1 Series tractor they call Penny.
When your project comes up, you have to just jump in and figure out what is it going to take.
From front loader to backhoe, the Upshaws have the tools to DIY all day long. Run with us on a 1 Series tractor and start telling your story. Get $1,000 off a 1025R tractor and 0% APR fixed rate for 60 months. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware, if you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark. TSparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark. TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204. I'm Franklin, and I've been a Paul's Termite technician for well over 10 years. Working for a great company like Paul's Termite and Pest Control is a blessing for my family and myself. I get tremendous satisfaction knowing that the work I do helps protect most people's biggest investment, their homes, the place where they raise their families and build lifelong relationships. Paul's is a company that stands behind their commitments to customers and employees, and that makes me proud to represent them.
I'm Jay. Having the privilege to work with people like Franklin and all of our employees is truly an honor. There is no doubt that the staff of Paul's Termite and Pest Control is the best in our industry. All of our people are local, and local really does mean something. We're North Floridians. Our kids go to school here. We shop here. We build relationships here, and we honor our commitments. To all of our customers, thanks for trusting us to protect your family, pets, and home.
For the elimination of termites, any other pests, and a greener lawn too, call Paul's. We'll get them all.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't know just yet, guys. I said during the break we would take a good long look at a tweet from Daryl Jackson, in which it's a picture of him from today's practice, and he's smiling, and he was thanking God, and what else did he say?
The man above.
Thanks to the man above and some other stuff.
It was plural. Man.
The men above.
So hopefully he's talking about Norvell, Alford, the president, Peter Collins, the board.
Yeah, well, in this case, we need the NCAA to come through. So
Daryl Jackson's breaking the news that we're moving conferences, everybody.
That'd be really big news. And I'm going to go with them because I've been declared eligible. Woo! Yeah, that'd be great. That hasn't happened, guys. That has not happened. So we'll wait and see.
I've got notifications on in case Daryl tweets again.
I've never done that. I've never had. How do you do the notifications on? I got notifications on at all times. Like if anything, like if somebody wants to ask me a question or something like that. But what do you mean? Like
good luck eating my dust.
No, do you
I'll
just
get those news?
Do you type in Daryl Jackson notification? How does it work?
You go to their profile and then there's a little button. It's kind of like when you hit the bell underneath this video to notify you every time Warchant TV goes live. You can do that for any
I have
profile.
never done that for anybody's profile. So you go to their profile and you hit the little bell?
Yeah, so if they tweet, then your phone goes boop, boop.
Oh, that'd be annoying as hell. I'm glad I've never done that. That'd be the worst.
Now, if you were a consumer of, well, let's say the Pirates are contending in a year or two.
The Pirates are playing the Braves tonight. I want notifications off.
Well,
I want notifications off, buddy. That's going to be a tough night at the ballpark.
For anybody who plays the Braves.
Well, no, it's especially us.
But if you, it's the winter meetings, and for some reason your owner died, and you had a new owner like Mark Cuban who wanted to spend money.
Oh, my God. Make it happen.
Yep.
Make it happen.
Then you would put the notifications on for passing or somebody else, so you know what prize possession in the free agent market you get. So that's the practical application. People do it for us at Warchant.
And they should. I mean, I would do it for me, but I'm me, so I don't have to do that.
That's right.
But, I mean.
Because you're you.
That's right. Other people, I got you.
That's what you say as you're driving through a red light. It turned 3 seconds ago. Everybody else has to stay where they are, but not me.
Not me. I'm going to go ahead. Keep on going.
Look at this. I'm not even braking.
Yeah, it could be a long night for the Buccos at 7:05 in Pittsburgh. But if I were in Pittsburgh, 2 reasons to go to the ballpark. PNC is the best there is in baseball. And number 2, the Braves are loaded. Go watch a bunch of All-Stars. Have some fun with that. Man, they're good. I mean, the Braves are, I'm not a Braves fan, and I like watching the Braves play baseball.
I'm an Anthopoulos fan. That dude, he gets great players, and they all work for $50 a year. It's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, Ronald Acuna and Matt Olson and these guys, I mean, these are players. These are studs.
They've got 3 years of team control left. All right. We're going to lock you in for 10 years. We'll give you $50 a year. What do you say? It's longevity. And they all say yes.
They said Spencer Strider was starting tonight for them.
Oh, there you go.
He only leads the National League in wins, or he's second in wins. Yeah.
Tight punch.
Pretty good. Pretty freaking good. Atlanta's got a lot of guys that are pretty freaking good, and the Pirates do not have a lot of guys that are really freaking good. Their best guy broke his leg because he didn't know how to slide into home in the first week of the season. Like a dumbass. He should give us back money for being stupid.
Is that what they put on the bottom line on ESPN?
Like a dumbass is what it should have said.
It's, doesn't know how to slide into home. Listed on IL.
It's awful. I watched that replay, and I was like, why? I mean, I get thanks for being mad, Santana, but it's our guy's fault. What's he doing? What's he doing? What are you doing? I was furious. Oh my goodness, that was a tough day. Tough day. The guy anybody who likes baseball is like, oh yeah, O'Neal Cruz will be fun to watch this year. Yes, I agree. Just can't have nice things. Just can't. Yeah. So this is a mismatch tonight, guys, which means I need baseball to be baseball. That's all you got. I need baseball to be baseball. No news over the weekend regarding Florida State's leaving the conference. Plenty of people talking about that subject, and it was brought into light even more when they were told that yes by KJ Bolden, which became a really big deal, as it should be. Things are coming up roses right about now for Florida State. Preseason top 10 in the coaches poll. A lot of weapons, good practices, intense competition every day that we're out there right now. A lot of things are very exciting. It seems like every time we read an article about Florida State, just about the team and about what's happening, it's in my mind, a good thing.
Number 8 in the coaches poll, and the recruiting class
is number 3 or 4?
4. It's better than that.
Yeah. Well, you start recruiting high school talent, and this thing turns around. That we already know that they can. I mean, we already know that obviously this offense is going to be electrifying, and we already know they can go and get transfer portal studs. You start bringing in studs with the high school ranks to go along with all of that. Whew, come on now. Now we're talking about you and I booking flights, for games that are playoff games and championship games, things of that ilk.
Yeah, it puts you in a position where I know you've been on the lead for this train, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the playoff chase next season, 2024. 12 teams get to the dance now.
Yeah.
It's a much larger field.
Yeah, I disagreed from the beginning when people were saying, look, we have to win big this year because they're not going to win anything in the following season. Man, look, they've got a young up-and-coming quarterback that gets better every day we're out there. They've got a deep offensive line. They've got plenty of talent at running back that will still be in place next year. Now, I know Benson will leave, but they got guys. They've got dudes now. And, again, they've been able to grab a lot of talent in the transfer portal. That's not suddenly going to stop. They've got NIL money, thanks to the Battle's End. They're doing very well. The lines of scrimmage are where you get into real trouble. I know we think because Jordan Travis is leaving after this season that you're going to lose one of the elite weapons of the game, and you are. If Jordan has the kind of year, he continues to grow like he did last year and play better and better and better, yeah, you're going to lose a superstar. But you're not devoid of weaponry. You're not coming back without players in place that can help you win a lot of football games. You may not be as dynamic on offense as you are this year, but you could be good enough to win a lot of games, especially in this conference. And then defensively, I worry about the defensive line next year. But, I mean, let's see what happens. I think Tafasi's going to be a good player. Farmer will be back probably.
Yeah, you're going to have to break out the bank for that, I think. Yeah.
Let's speak it into existence.
He's had a good start to camp, too. We're talking about a lot of guys in the defensive line. Farmer looks larger and plays larger, period. He had a really good day today.
He did. It's a good thing. Continue to get better and better and better. But you've brought in some talent that we really like. I mean, Vandravius Jacobs will be back next year. He's a star in the making. You know that. Hakeem will be back. Well, good Lord, we'll see what he becomes this year. I think he's got a chance. He, by the way, looks really good in camp right now. So much better than he did in the spring when he got here early. He looked overweight when he got here early. I think his head was swimming a little bit. No shame in that. Early enrollee. I mean, it's tough. You go from a high school offense to a big-time college offense. But he did. He looked like he was, for lack of a better term in the spring, overwhelmed. He does not look overwhelmed right now. He slimmed down considerably, which I think was important for him because we said he was, one big meal away from being a tight end when we saw him in the spring. Now I wouldn't say that.
Well, and there wasn't a whole lot of polish to his game either because he never needed it.
No, he could just bully you.
The crazy thing about him is when it comes all the way around and he's developed, it's just giant strides. He has long strides, explosive ones. It reminds me, I've said it before, but of watching Carlos Beltran play center field. It doesn't look like he's moving, but he's running at immense speeds just because it's smooth, long strides. A little bit different than some of the other guys we have. Destin Hill would figure to be back next year. I mean, if he's not, that means we have really, really good news this season about what he does. But yeah, you pair those two, Vandravius and some of the other guys that are going to be coming up and coming along. I mean, yeah, they're going to be loaded at receiver. Running back's fine. O-line, you could use a piece or two. That's where it gets interesting to me after the season is in the offensive line. Do you need to go to the portal to help with an immediate need again? Or are some of these younger players going to develop? And that's part of the fun of camp is, you might have pass rush drills or one-on-one drills going on on one half of the IPF. On the other half, you got some of those younger players. You want to see how they come along.
Well, if you think about it, Julian Armella will start next year. I think there's no question that you'll have what's his face, the 6'8" tackle.
Yeah, Lucas Simmons.
Simmons. I couldn't remember Simmons' last name. He'll be a starter next year, and they're both capable of being stars, being really, really good. Simmons especially. Just got to keep getting stronger up top. But he's already got the base, and he's massive.
You know, Maurice Smith has another year of eligibility this year. Just saying. Only a redshirt junior.
How's that possible? That man's played a ton of football.
He has, yeah. First player to go from the AAC or ACC to the AARP. I blew it.
Oh, man. So when you watch Tim Anderson get punched in the face and get knocked out in the game over the weekend in the fight with Jose Ramirez, a couple of things. A, anybody can get got, even by a really lucky punch. And that was a really flailing, wild, slow punch. But it would behoove you not to get got and get your hands up. And if you're a southpaw, if you throw that jab, you got to get your hands up. And he didn't and paid a dear price for it. But a couple of things occurred to me. First, do the White Sox players not like him either? Because they're standing there watching him get punched for a minute. You know, it's like, whoa. And number two, does he have the chin of a small child? Because that's not clean. Like, Jose Bautista got rocked by Ruffin Odor.
I was going to say, this is the first time I've gone, ooh, since Odor.
Yeah,
and that's a long time
now,
ago.
Odor's punch was a man's punch. That was get you some.
You know, if you want baseball to be all the way back, you got the speed of the game, right? People are stealing bags again, first to third. We got to get the brawls back in the game.
And this was a good one. People got punched. I like it. Yes. And you'll always hear the obligatory from an announcer, oh, that's terrible. We don't need this in the game. Yes, we do need it in the game. Punch him again. This is great. You hit that guy, and you hit that guy over there. Y'all hit each other. Let's go. It's awesome. But I suspect now, because of the way people have reacted post Jose Ramirez, Tim Anderson fight, that Tim's not a well-liked guy by either his teammates or others that he competes against. It's the hard tag. I'm telling you, man, I used to hate people who did that. That's nonsense. That's how you get punched. It's the hard tag. We got to stop with the hard tag all the time, man. Stop slapping people in the head with the
Ew, yeah.
Can't do it.
Nice catch.
Can't do it. That's how you get your ass beat. There
like
it is.
Destin Hill breaking off a route.
I'm just letting you know.
I'm going to run a flag. Oh, nope. Inside release. And look at me. Look at me.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
You know who applied hard tags all the time? I'm sure of it. Chase Utley. I'm sure of it.
The hard tag. I remember playing against a kid who did it all the time. I was like, hard tag me again, man. I'm about done with this. We're not going to have a conversation.
I'm sure Chase Utley slaps the forearm with a drive-through attendant.
Hard tag all the time with that nonsense.
$20.
I'm about done with this.
Give me my bag. I'm Chase Utley.
But, man, you know what's got to be the worst? I mean, I know I get it, the whole man in the arena thing. But my man was on a loop Saturday night. I mean, that was over and over and over again. I must have seen it 50 times. But that's why I came to the conclusion he has the chin of a small child. It's not even clean. Bautista got rocked and stood up. He wobbled for a moment, but he was all right. He was back in the game. My man had to be carried off. He's a flow. I was like, what are we doing? He was like a weeble wobble. Get it together, Tim. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hi, everybody. It's Ed Dean, Florida's #1 statewide radio talk show. Now in Tallahassee, afternoon drives from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Yes, highly entertaining, fast-paced, never boring. We always give you the story behind the story when you catch the Ed Dean radio show. And we are ready to go. Tallahassee daily, 5 to 6 p.m. It's the Ed Dean radio show on Real Talk 93.3 FM WVFT.
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics, restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmett Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 850-391-4280. That's 850-391-4280. 850-391-4280.
If you've been considering getting a new hot tub or upgrading your existing hot tub, now's the absolute best time to do it. Hot Spring Spas has the jets on full blast, and the prices right now have never been hotter. You can find huge savings at Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas, and we mean huge. For a limited time, you can get up to $5,000 off in instant discounts and rebates, plus 60 months no interest financing for qualified buyers. You heard that right, $5,000 in discounts. And that's not all. When you buy a hot spring spa from Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas, you'll get a free consultation to determine the best placement in your yard for installation, a free accessory of your choice, and install can be completed in just a matter of days. It's the most aggressive rebate program that's ever been available to buyers from Hot Spring Spas. So stop by Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road today to check out their 12,000 square foot showroom with over 50 hot tubs on site. If you're ready to relax, Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
My man, Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, bears have their own space.
Well,
you got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, longevity time, a mouse.
Just a slow burn.
Slow burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay. Mouse it is. Gordo's bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Had another good day. That's a good sign. We tend to gloss over them. I don't want to gloss over them. They matter if you're going to play some close games, especially two of the first four. Want to feel good about those guys going into games like that, which we figured to be fourth quarter games. And then I would say from there, you could probably, if you wanted to give out your stars for the day, like it changes every day. Somebody else, might step up tomorrow. But for today, Gilbert Edmond was really, really good. Braden Fisk was really, really good. I thought Bless Harris was good today on the offensive line. Had a solid day. I thought that once again, Keon Coleman was good. He always looks good. I think that Johnny Wilson with the big, long, nice catch, by the way, on a beautiful pass down the sideline. What was it, about 50 yards, 60 yards?
Yeah, I'd say in terms of the air yards for the throw, 65.
Yeah.
And it was full sprint, full extension.
That was a nice throw and catch there, those two. And the secondary continues to play well, though. I don't want to mislead you. That secondary was a bunch of ball hawks again today. Kevin Knowles was good again today, and he was talking to his teammates. He seems he's got to be, just freed up because he looks so confident. He's stronger, obviously. He got bigger by about 10 pounds, but he's flying around with the football. He's helping other guys out. He seems engaged. He has really taken to his new coach, and I think that has so far proven to be a very good hire, obviously. This is refreshing.
A development out of left field, too, because he was unavailable in spring. And we can't see summer workouts. And it's great that the coaching staff has more access to the players in the summer. It's fundamentally different than it used to be. I don't know all of the rules, but I know that they can be on the field with the kids, which it used to be player-run practices, and you could meet them in their office, quote-unquote, once in a while. Couldn't even set foot in the gym. But whatever time that they'd had, Kevin Knowles and Patrick Surtain, they put it to good use because he's come out firing both cylinders.
Yeah,
all cylinders.
There are other guys that are also really exciting to watch right now that are playing well. I mean, guys you just didn't expect to have step in and play this well. You're seeing it every day from the freshmen that look really good as well, or redshirt freshmen. They've got a lot of options right now. If somebody starts playing poorly, they I don't think they're going to be afraid to turn to some others.
Yeah, late in practice today, Jabril Rawls had an interception. Another play getting downhill is Tate Rodemaker on the throw, and Tate hasn't made a ton of mistakes, but in that one, Rawls got downhill, made a play. The entire defense mobbed him in the end zone too. That was cool to see. Everybody's fired up for each other right now.
Well, and practice is, especially when you first get back to camp, always difficult because, first of all, it's 100 degrees outside. Quite literally 100 degrees. It's not nice. It's hard just to stand, let alone can't imagine these guys running and hitting as they are. And when we're out there just watching it, I'm like, this is uncomfortable. Can anybody make me more comfortable while I stand here and watch this? It's awful. But they're flying around. And so they've embraced all of it. I think it's so far an ultra competitive camp. Can only imagine it's going to get intensified. You saw a couple moments today where some fights had to be broken up. That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, scrums.
Yeah, little scrums. Nothing terrible. Nothing terrible.
The usual kind of a scrum, but the blood was up between the trenches today. You talk about the trash talk between reps, nose to nose, echo of the whistle plays. Yeah.
I'm glad Jared Verse plays for us, but my God, that would get old. My God, that would get old. It never ends. It's unbelievable. And he is a stud. I'm not saying anything disparaging. The guy is a superstar in the making here. I think he's going to have a huge year. But if every day I had to go against him and listen to that over and over and over again, it would be hard not to punch him in the face. Now, you better come with it because he's a big, strong man. But I'm just saying, if you're also a big, strong man, that would get old.
He just looks so much quicker this year.
He does, doesn't he?
He's anticipating the play. We put out some observations over the weekend in the trenches, and I said it's like hockey. You skate to where the puck's going, not where it is. He looks like he's doing that within his assignments. He's just always right where he needs to be. But then if it's time to break off and do something about it and pursue, lightning quick. I mean, it's something.
The combination, he gave an interview last week at the end of practice. He was one of the guys we got for breakout. And he said in that interview that, he obviously got bigger. He talked about that. He said it was in his quads. Corey theorizes it's in his arms. Yeah. I mean, he's gotten a lot bigger. He's good 10 pounds of muscle bigger, right? Which is something. But then in addition, he said he wanted to work on having a lot more in the repertoire. And I thought that was very important because I thought last year that he got by on being quick twitch, just having an awful lot of speed. He could run right past people. But I thought, and he was strong because he did that punch to the chest and you'd see guys, big linemen take steps back. You knew all that. But I wanted to see him incorporate more moves and do more with his hands and to see him kind of have a variety that he could reach in the bag for. Partly because, obviously that'll make him a lot of money. That'll get him selected probably in the first 15 picks, 10 picks of the NFL draft, all that. But it would also mean that he's that much better as a player. And I thought he needed to work on that. And it's always cool when you hear a player say that. He's like, yeah, I wanted to have more. I wanted to be able to fall back on something more than just my speed or my punch. And I'm like, good, because they need him to dominate. And I think he's in a good place to do exactly that. And I'll feel ever so slightly bad for opposing offenses as he's telling them about it over and over and over again. Ira Schoffel, my man at Warchant.com, joins us every Monday. Hello, Ira. How are you, brother?
I'm great, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. We've spent a lot of time talking about how fun these practices are and how intense they are and how much better this team looks. Big picture today, we were talking about guys that had good days. What were your thoughts on today's practice?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a shocker to see, Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman and Bell making big plays, but it's cool to see it all kind of back to back. I was talking to Aslan afterwards for a little video we did, and I'm saying how, there were times in the past where you might see a big play from the other side of the field and just kind of know who it was based on the type of play it was. But now they've got so many weapons that really it could be anybody.
Yeah.
Today it was a little bit of everybody. And, the defense has kind of controlled the action for the first few days of practice as usual. But it was cool to see the offense hit some big plays.
Yeah, we were just talking when you came on, Ira, about Jared Verse. Every day he dominates as well. Has there been a player that you find, to be surprising? Is there a guy that you look at and say, I didn't expect anything out of him, or I didn't know what to expect out of him that has played really well in your eyes?
I think we knew most of the older guys. I think it's been good to see Braden Fisk look the way he looks with shoulder pads on. We saw in the spring that he could run. But I was probably more skeptical than everybody else, just the fact that he played at Western Michigan, and he had good games when they played some Power 5 teams, but I wasn't sure how he would do, and he certainly looks the part. He looks like a guy. Tom wrote it over the weekend on the website that he looks like he belongs, and that was good to see, and especially once the shoulder pads got on. So he's one. A lot of the young guys have impressed me. Just seeing some of these young guys that I don't even know if they'll get on the field. Sam Singleton, a freshman running back, with his speed, and obviously Destin Hill, certainly looks the part as a freshman who has been sitting out for 2 years and now gets his chance. And so from that standpoint, I think we knew a lot of the older guys, but it's been cool to see some of this young talent that I really think they hit on.
I'm torn on this. I feel like if Destin Hill shows that he's got a handle on this offense, I feel like he looks so fluid. He runs routes very fluid. He's athletically, he's all that he's been cracked up to be. He looks comfortable. For a guy that hasn't played football in a couple of years, he's a lot further along than I thought he would be. Do you think he, by the time this camp ends, has got a chance to play a lot of football for them?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. And I pat myself on the back. I had him in my top 40 because I had heard from some people around the program that, man, he's a guy, he may end up, by the end of the year, he may end up winning that starting job in the slot. But I've been impressed by Winston Wright. I think he looks like, what we expected out of him originally. And, they've got some other guys that probably could play in the slot as well. But no, I think he fits in really well. He's natural catching the ball. He and Keon Coleman, to me, we know what Johnny Wilson is. But to me, Keon Coleman and Destin Hill's got he'll be here for a couple of years at least. But those look like guys that look like they'll have futures in the NFL. And when you think about what Florida State was putting out there at wide receiver a couple of years ago, it's come a long way.
Yeah, I thought today was an interesting day. Again, you mentioned Fisk. He was dominant, but I also thought Farmer had a good day, and we continue to watch this defensive line just looks vastly improved because of a guy like Briggs. Ira, I don't know if you noticed him today. I watched closely. He looks like he's got that bounce in his step back. He's a lot quicker. They can move him around. I don't know that a lot of people expected that, but he's had a good camp so far too.
No, and you definitely have to give FSU's coaches credit for investing in him and sticking with him and keeping him invested in Florida State. I think because they moved him around so much, first defensive end, then defensive tackle, then defensive end, then defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can get a guy discouraged because he's not having the success that he expected out of high school. He was a pretty highly recruited guy, a 4-star recruit, and it really hasn't materialized. But anytime you if we in the media kind of talk about that position and don't mention Dennis Briggs, Adam Fuller and Odell Higgins and those guys have been quick to bring him up as a guy that they think will contribute. And yeah, man, it's impressive. But you mentioned when I was coming on about Jared Verse, and it feels like it's the same old song we talk about. But he had a play today where he beats the inside guy, then the tackle comes over to help and he beats him. Then a running back comes over to chip and he beats him. And Jordan Travis has to throw the ball away. Basically, beat 3 blockers to force a throwaway. So it's we get tired of talking about Jared Verse, but he puts on a show.
And then he told Jordan Travis about it.
He sure did. He went directly to him.
My favorite part of that is that Jordan is so used to it, he just acts like he's not there.
Doesn't even acknowledge him. Like, you would think at some point, I was waiting for him to be like, then shut up. Like,
yeah.
I wanted Jordan to go grab a ball and throw it at him.
Yeah.
But he literally acts like he doesn't even know he's there.
And we were watching the same play. It was my favorite part because obviously Verse is telling him all about it, and Jordan's like, on to the next, man. Yeah. Appreciate it, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Jeff.
Be good, man. That's Ira Schoffel, Warchant.com. And I believe the Ira's on the Smash tonight, right?
Yeah. Aslan and Ira tonight, 7 p.m. Warchant TV.
Good stuff. They'll have their observations, and it'll be good. By the way, Tafasi had a good day today.
Yes, he did. Split a double team in a run game drill.
Yeah. I'm looking at you, Tafasi. He's got
Old Lions had a hip toss as well. He joined the Josh Farmer party.
I know you are locked in on Daniel Lyons, and I like him. I'm not telling you any different, but yeah, I thought Tafasi of that other group, if you will, was the best of the bunch there. I like where he's headed. They're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right there in the middle. They're developing some guys. They'll go get another guy. Who knows? I mean, if Daryl Jackson doesn't get his waiver, does he come back next year?
That would be
amazing.
A tall task.
It would be a tall task. I agree. I need my Lakewood guy to catch the ball. Just hurts my heart.
Your Lakewood guy?
Do spin.
Yeah, I know. Actually, there was a cool moment towards the end of practice today. I walked to the other side of the 11-on-11 just to take a look and see what the camaraderie was like, who likes whom, that kind of a thing. Are there cliques forming? You don't really see anything quite like that. But Keon Coleman, in his 4th practice at Florida State, I get he was here for summer workouts. He's pulling Deuce-Span aside, and they're talking about the release off the line. And it is, I'm telling you, no exaggeration, a 4 to 5 minute lecture-style coaching job that Keon Coleman is imparting wisdom to Deuce about the different things he can do. You see this a lot in, Hard Knocks or other, TV broadcast camp shows where you see defensive ends talking to other defensive ends about the moves that they can do and the variety of things in order to win a pass rush. Well, in this case, it's receiver on receiver talking about how to shed and get off a contact in case you're in a press situation. I thought that was really cool that Keon, so early in his career,
is helping him,
decides to play that role.
Well, Keon has struck me as a professional. I don't know, there's another way to say it. He's a junior, comports himself like a junior or a senior.
He comports himself like he's draft eligible.
Without question.
Yeah.
He looks like a pro. He looks like a professional wide receiver. He's a big, strong kid. He's 6'4", 215, 220 pounds. He looks every bit of it. He is buttoned up. He is a really good route runner.
He's also somebody that Mike Norvell holds to an extremely high standard.
Yes, he does.
I think it's part of it is you're brand new to the system.
He's sending messages to everybody.
He's sending messages about the details. There was a route that Keon ran against air today as they were getting warmed up, and it looked fine. Everything about it
kind of came out of it at the end, and Mike told him about it.
Mike went into a 15-second explanation of, no. You're better than that, essentially, was the message.
Yeah, but Mike is, this is an area when people talk to any of us about what it is that Mike has done right. There are a lot of things that we cite, but one of them is that he coaches all these guys hard, and he tells them he's going to coach them hard. He comes through on that, but I think he coaches his best players the hardest. And he sees in those guys this incredible upside, and he also knows, and we've heard coaches talk about this over the years, if you're Phil Jackson and you can yell at Michael Jordan, that's going to go a long way. All right. Now, I'm not saying Keon Coleman's Michael Jordan, and I'm not saying that Mike Norvell is Phil Jackson, but I am saying that when you have the ability to yell at your best players in each segment group, guys that have played a lot of football and have been successful, obviously everybody else has to come along for the ride at that point, because if you can yell at Jordan Travis and Jared Verse, and you can yell at Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, and you can yell at Trey Benson, and you can yell at the best defensive tackle or the best, then you can yell at anybody, and they have to take it because they understand that the best players on this team are held to that standard every day, on every play. It's probably a quality that I think is most responsible for his success in the transfer portal and his success and once they get players here, getting them to conform to a very happy locker room.
Yeah, it's the consistency of the message. It's shocking and alarming to guys who entered the portal because they aren't talked to as though they can think for themselves. And that's the sense I get sometimes from players and reading their quotes or hearing stories like you got from Jermaine Johnson and seeing the answers to the questions myself at ACC kickoff for these breakout interviews. Just he's real from the word go. The phone call goes differently. He's not promising the moon saying, oh, you could have all the playing time in the world. And that message stays true when you get on campus. And then when you're at practice, it's an old adage of college football recruiting that a player meets a coach for the first time when they actually get on campus for the practice. Right. They never met him on the trail.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's not Mike. That's not his way.
No. And that was Tub Talk, brought to you by Pinch a Penny. Tub Talk is outstanding. Yay, Tub Talk. Folks at Pinch a Penny are making it really easy to finally get that hot tub or spa you've been thinking about. Happening right now for a limited time only. You can get discounts and rebates of up to $5,000 off, plus 0% financing for 60 months. That's what you do right there. You get that new hot tub in your backyard for as little as $99 a month. Oh, forget about it. You know what you do there, Tom? You get in that hot tub from Pinch a Penny off of Greer Street, and you bite into a big-ass Zaxby's chicken sandwich. That's what you do. You grab that Zaxby's split-top bun, 3 juicy pickles, big piece of chicken, and you go, man, this chicken is awesome in my brand-new hot tub. Got to hold it above the fray, celebrate, but know that if anything happens to that one, you can go to one in 56 neighborhood Zaxby's here in Tallahassee and get you another one.
Every once in a while, I get a hankering for some fried pickles. Because they have that as a side there. It's not just the crinkle cut fries, which are delicious, or the Texas toast, but you can get fried pickles. I think I'm going to have to satisfy.
Oh, is that what's going on
this week? This week,
yeah. Little fried pickles action.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
One man is hurt and another is in custody after a shooting on Sunday, according to the Suwannee County Sheriff's Office. Officials said the incident happened on 152nd Street around 4:30 p.m. when the victim called 911 to report that he was shot. The suspect is 38-year-old Seth Brian Starling. His charges include shooting into an occupied vehicle and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. More charges are expected. SCSO deputies used the Taylor store as a staging area during the incident. Officials cleared scene around 8 p.m. Sunday evening. This is a developing story. The Tallahassee Police Department announced they arrested a man for shooting at a woman in her car last week. Jaden Wright, 21, was arrested on charges of attempted murder, aggravated assault, firing a weapon into an occupied vehicle, marijuana with the intent to sell, and drug trafficking. Wright confronted the victim in the parking lot of Seminole Grand Apartments when a verbal argument broke out. When the woman went to leave, Wright shot 1 round through the victim's back windshield and fled the scene. This is Rachel Lene with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by McLemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. An excessive heat warning continues until 8 p.m. tonight. An excessive heat watch begins at 11 a.m. tomorrow and continues until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Partly cloudy this afternoon with a chance for scattered storms. High of 97, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms again tonight, 78. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 95.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
This is Tyler from Bear No Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere.
Save big time in the new year and get $1,200 off select new units.
Online at BearNoAC.com.
Keeping you comfortable is what Barry does best.
License CAC 1816-186.
My man, Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, bears have their own space. You got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, what you're saying.
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, I don't know, longevity time, a mouse.
Just a slow burn.
Slow little burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay. Mouse it is. Gordo's bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Equipping motivating athletes focused on baseball and softball with the specific tools to reach their true potential. 27 alumni in the majors from over there at Power Mill, 45 plus years of experience, over 2,000 alumni. Baseball programs for every player, softball programs for every player. They've got the camps to boot, all the good stuff. Equipping your little athlete of any age and skill level with specific skills that they're going to need to excel on and off the field. That's a good thing. So, a state-of-the-art facility. Go check it out. It is Power Mill Training Academy, powermillsports.com. Probables, sir.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
I don't know if the Pirates are going to get to 68. I bet the over on 68 wins from Vegas this year. They're at 50. They've played 111 games.
So you need to win 19 out of 61? Come on.
No,
111?
They played 111. So
51.
50.
19.
It's going close, buddy.
19 and 32? You could do 19 and 32.
Doesn't help this week when you got 4 with the Braves.
You could do 19 and 28.
Hang in there, boys. Dodgers, Padres, Tony Gonsolin, Seth Lugo. Twins, Tigers, Pablo Lopez, Joey Wentz. Nationals, Phillies, Trevor Williams, he of the former Pirates Williams family. Rangers, Suarez. Marlins, Reds, Yuri Perez. Remember when we theorized that the Marlins, who had been the luckiest team in baseball in the first half of the season because of their ungodly record in one-run games, would come crashing back down to earth in the second half of the season because it's not sustainable? We were right. Yuri Perez goes for the Marlins. The Reds will throw Brandon Williamson. And the marquee matchup of the night, Braves-Pirates at PNC Park. Spencer Strider, he's pretty good at baseball. Got 208 strikeouts. That's ridiculous. Want to talk about a matchup mismatch? Spencer Strider is 12-3 with a 3.61 and 208 strikeouts. He's going against Osvaldo Bido for us, who's 2-2 with a 5.18 and 30 strikeouts.
Wait a minute. Strider's got a 3.60 ERA?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with him? That guy's too dominant for that. I'm not even trying to
he had a bad inning or two.
Like 9.
Royals, Red Sox, Cole Reagans, Brian Bello. Cubs, Mets, Drew Smiley. Sangasan. Blue Jays, Guardians, Hin Yin Ryu, and Gavin Williams. Yankees, White Sox, Garrett Cole, Dylan Cease. Rockies, Brewers, Peter Lambert, Freddie Peralta. Giants, Angels, Logan Webb, Patrick Sandoval. And finally, Rangers, A's, Dane Dunning, and Ken Waldachuk. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. guy who played guitar on this session for a cheesy, bed of music really decided to get after it. He's like, I'm gonna go off here. I know that I'm not exactly living my dream. I always thought I'd be the lead guitarist of the Scorpions, but here we are, another commercial session here with this nonsense. But I'm gonna show these people what I got in these magic fingers. When you listen,
had a good run with the Bill Withers tribute band.
Oh man, what do you think they said to Tim Anderson in the clubhouse after the game?
How you feeling, Tim?
Oh my goodness gracious. Over and over and over again, that shot was replayed from it was like the Zapruder film. You could watch it from every angle. Yeah, a nightmare season for him. I told Corey at practice the other night, or today, I think it was, that did you know my man has 1 home run this year?
Ooh, Tim Anderson? Yeah. We played the White Sox recently. And,
one?
Yeah.
What are we doing out here, Tim?
Not much.
Getting our ass kicked.
He's got his bell rung as
and
many
not
times
producing.
as he's hitting a dinger.
Yeah, this is a tough day at the office. To have your worst moment slowed down repeatedly is something. Also, by the way, I think we need to end the experiment on Alexi Lawless. I'm tired of listening to him talk about anything. He's the worst.
He has been since his ESPN days.
I know.
20-odd years
He's
ago.
still awful. I was up early in the morning, watched the women lose in PKs, and just to listen to him, I'm like, come on, man. They dominated this game. Just stop being a dumbass. They dominated that game. Just soccer was soccer. First time they played well the entire World Cup. They finally played well. They showed up. They were dominant the whole game. They lost. And then he's just prattling on like he likes to do. You're like, come on, man. I know you watched this game.
Well, this is where soccer is in this country, where you have network executives that are too lazy to find somebody else. They're like, Alexi's got it. That's fine.
Well, he's
Whatever.
a known commodity is what it is.
Kinda.
I mean, well, from all those years
Who's
ago.
the idiot on the desk?
Yeah.
That's what most people are like. Who's that guy? That guy's a jerk.
You ready for the NFL, or are you just locked into college here?
Locked in. These practices have been so good.
They have been so good.
I mean, I was trying to do an exercise in my brain. It's kind of like the end of the radio broadcast when we would drive home with Lightning season tickets. The 3 stars of the game is a very hockey thing, but you wouldn't hear that until the end of the show.
Right.
And my dad and I would guess who were our 3 stars, and we'd see if we get them right. I tried to do that exercise in my brain for practice. It's tough.
Well,
it's tough to find 3 guys.
You and I have been playing that game when we see each other at practice. I'll walk over to you late in the practice, usually the last 2 periods, and I'll be like, so I think so-and-so's had a really good day. And so far we've agreed, but we've had more than 3, that's for sure.
I think through the first 4 practices, Jared Verse has to be on the list, if not at the top.
So if you were going to say the MVP of the first 4 practices, one would be Jared Verse on the defensive side, and the other would be?
Do I have to pick an offensive player?
Yeah, pick an offensive player. Keon Coleman.
Or Jordan. Jordan's made 3 or 4 plays in 11 on 11 that are not supposed to be there, but it's just Jordan doing it. We're so not jaded by it because we like it, but we're so used to it that you're like, oh, man, that's just not fair. There's a lot of coverage sack moments. You're like, man, the coverage is great. And then Jordan runs and it's 15 yards and they blow the whistle. Might have been 30. Who knows? I think that Keon's been up there, though.
Yeah, he has been.
Keon, the clips that we looked at when he committed to Florida State about catching through contact, that's already playing out. I mean, he's just his body control, all that kind of stuff. It's phenomenal.
I like that he is always instructing, always telling people, not just like he asks questions of coaches after routes, so he's willing to listen to how we do things. You can see he's learning certain aspects of the offense, but he's very talkative, and then he's also willing to help out, as you pointed out, but he's also making tons of plays. So that's going to be a slam dunk. All of that's going to be a slam dunk. And Andrevius Jacobs coming back today was great. Watching him again, you're reminded of why we fell in love with him in the spring.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a third guy because Kevin Knowles through the first few practices, I think, was the slam dunk. But Braden Fisk, I mean, They put the shoulder pads on, and on Saturday, immediately you saw how ferocious Braden Fisk is, how strong he is. And then today I saw how quick he is. Like, I don't know. Are we going to get, kind of rinse and repeat with reports on Braden Fisk every day? Could be. He doesn't look like he has a weakness.
We got to find a way to sneak into a scrimmage. I want to see them trying with the first team offensive line going against the first team defensive line. I want to see them trying to run the ball with effectiveness. Because Alex Atkins and Mike Norvell will run the ball on everybody. They run the ball on people even when they don't have a good offensive line, and they have one now. So let's see that.
You just get the sense here that some of these segment groups are going to struggle more in practice than they do in every game.
Without question. Can you imagine? I mean, again, if every day you have to go up against this offense, let's just go big picture, this offense. Yeah, most Saturdays are going to feel like a walk in the park.
Well, and you're so prepared for Jaden Daniels because of what Jordan can do. Now LSU be able to say the same with what they practice.
Yeah, the problem is, though, and this is the biggest problem with guys that are preternaturally gifted as runners at quarterback, you can't prepare for it. You may see it every day in practice, but you don't go live in practice against your quarterback. And also, just because you know he's really gifted as a runner doesn't mean you can do anything about it.
You still got to get him to the ground.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say, though, it's trending. The challenge issue to these receivers by the secondary through the first week is real. Now, the defense is supposed to be ahead.
And it is.
But the secondary has never been this far ahead in terms of the consistent
attacking. You could tell the mentality has completely shifted here. They are attacking and making plays on the ball. Good work out of you. Good job, Director Matthew, as always. Be well, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.